people are appalled to find out that once they start owning a gym, it pretty much has nothing to do with how good you are at jujitsu.
Man, you could be, and I hear people talk about this all the time. You could be a world champion at jiu-jitsu and not know how to run a gym. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like we see it a lot. I think it's become a more focus now that as these young, really young stars come up, they're being taught, hey, you need to learn how to teach as well as be a superstar, because you're gonna have to make a living at this once you're done competing. Um,
Mhm.
but I think, and a lot of guys touch on this. A lot of guys in the network that I'm in, I hear them talk about it a lot. You could be a world champion, and it still doesn't mean you're going to be a successful business owner, because it's not easy. A lot of people don't know how to deal with people. That's the hardest part. You have to be able to read people. You have to be able to, like I said before, build that community, and that's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of ups and downs in that lifestyle. Trying to learn how to navigate building a great community. But I've heard recently. I've heard a lot more people talk about that in general. So
Some people have their different philosophies on what's required to become a blue belt, purple belt, whatever. But one thing that I've heard a lot of people say that purple belt should be a requirement is that you should be able to at least teach beginners.
100%. Um, I push. I mean, you've been to my school before, so you see, I've got a program where I bring up a lot of guys that are guys and girls that are around the high school age that compete a lot, and they want to be world champions. Let's say, I have them on the mats helping with the kids. I always say, if you can teach kids, you can teach anybody. If you can teach a kid how to understand a move, for keeping them safe, because kids can, you know, they can put themselves in weird positions where they can get themselves hurt really easily. But you can keep a kid safe, make sure they're having fun, make sure the parents see that the kid's having fun and they're safe, and then also translate jujitsu to them. If you can do that, you can do anything.
Mm.
So if you notice now, I have multiple blue belts on my mat that are 17, 18 years old, and they help with the kids' classes. And some of these guys that I have on the mats, they want to be gym owners one day. So I'm like, hey, if you want to be, you need to start now. You need to start as a blue belt learning. So they're side by side with me every day, learning how I teach, seeing how I interact with people, how I interact with the kids. And I think at that level, uh, with guidance. I don't think they should be turned loose all the time, teaching on their own. Every now and then, I'll give some of my blue belts a chance to run a class. Now, again, there are moments where or times like I do have a blue belt at my gym that ran the grappling club up at U of I, and so he got put out on his own to run a program. Him and a few of the other guys up there, I think they were all blue belts at that time. So he had to get out there and run a program and grow it, and they all did a fantastic job up there. Uh, so I so him teaching a class as a blue belt, he does very well. But he also had that where he had to do it, kind of like me when I started the school as a blue belt. I had to do it. I had no choice. I didn't have anybody to do it for me. I had to do it on my own. I had to learn from my mistakes. But I'm trying to make it where these guys that are blue belts that they can step in and learn. Now, by purple belt, I think they should be able to pretty much lead a class if the head person's not around. By the time you hit purple belt, you should be able to make your own lesson plan, follow through that plan, be able to answer any questions that are asked, or know how to handle it if you don't have the answer. That's the hard part, is knowing how to. And if somebody asks a question you don't know the answer to, how are you going to handle that? And I think by purple belt, you should be able to do that.
Most gyms, a lot of people don't get the opportunity to that you just described with your blue belt. So that's pretty awesome. That
I was just going to say it's just a unique opportunity that I started like 3 years ago, and um, it's been a good thing. Pretty much all the kids or I say kids, but teenagers that's went through it, they've competed at the highest level in IBJJF. They've done very well. Some of them are PANS medalists already, and I think them being on the mats multiple hours a day helps them see more jujitsu, all the way down to the basics. and it helps them remember things a lot better. And I think it helps them with their competition as well.